Good morning. Welcome to Undisputed. We are live from Los Angeles. I'm Jenny Taft here with Skip Bayless, Shannon Sharp. Good morning.
Hi, Jenny.
Hey.
What?
The claw.
Don't do that.
Claw.
Oh, you proud of he?
See the claw?
Oh.
Kim's last three? Whoosh.
Figured
Yeah.
he'd notice
Floating.
that.
Did you see that performance in the fourth quarter in overtime?
Oh, it was Kawhi Town last night.
No, it was Lou
Yeah,
Williams time.
Kawhi time.
It was Lou time.
Yeah.
What time is it? Lou time.
Yeah, I thought it was actually Patrick Beverly.
Don't do that.
That's a whole nother.
Oh.
All I know is that was the best defense I've seen played at Staples Center all year.
Ooh. I saw you tweet that. I saw you tweet it, Skip,
What about
but
that
I
offense?
figured you would
Yeah.
notice.
What about that offense?
They don't need offense.
The best player.
All defense.
The best player on the planet did not take a starring role in his own movie.
Defense wins championships.
Oh, my goodness.
This show is loaded today.
Yep.
So how
Here we go.
impressive were Kawhi and Paul George in their first game together? And is Tom Brady really a great leader? But first, we will start with Ezekiel Elliott. Skip's Cowboys are certainly hoping Zeke gets a chance to eat against the Patriots this weekend after tallying less than 50 yards in back-to-back games. Elliott was asked yesterday if he was frustrated by his lack of production in the running game, and he was quick to defend himself as a team player. Take a listen.
I think if you have a problem keeping your spirits up, when we win a football game, that game we played last Sunday, you know, you win a football game, you're excited, you're happy. I mean, all the other stuff will handle itself. I always said accolades, all the other stuff is not important. What's important is winning football games, and you win a football game, it'll handle itself. That's what a good teammate does. I kind of feel you guys make me feel awkward. Like I'm supposed to be pissed because I had 40 yards and we won a football game. So, I mean, I don't know. I don't really want to get into it anymore.
All right, Shannon, did you like Zeke's response?
I loved it. I applaud him. And that's what he should have said. I think the thing is that Zeke is going to find out what I knew to be true, and I had to find out myself, too. Wins are only important to the quarterback. Now, Tom Brady said the exact same thing yesterday. His job as a quarterback is to find a way to somehow win a ball game. Throw for 400, throw for 300, 175. At the end of the day, you win. It's only running backs, receivers. They win a game, don't put up the numbers. Odell Beckham, I give you a prime example. Odell can have 60 yards. They win a game. What's wrong with Odell? Why didn't he have 150? Zeke Elliott, they win a game. Well, he got 50 million. He kind of shut it down. He's not the same Zeke. He wins. They lose. They take that back. They lose. Odell gets 175. All he cares about is stats. Zeke, they lose. He gets 155. All he cares about is stat. He's a bad teammate. Man, they won the game. He's like, man, y'all make me feel bad. We won the game, and y'all in here talking about I only had 40 yards. Would y'all have said if I'd have had 200 and we lost, would you have said, Zeke, you only had 200 yards? At the end of the day, I thought it was about wins and losses. Clearly, that's not the case. They're trying to rile something up, and I'm glad Zeke handled it the way he did. He's like, guys, we won the game. I'm supposed to be ticked off. As a competitor, you always want to feel you contributed. I've been there. There have been times I've had 2 catches for 25 yards and we won. There have been times I had over 100 yards and we lost. You always go back, what could I have done to help us win? And what could I have done to help us win by more? That goes through your mind. That's just how the way you're wired as a competitor. But at the end of the day, Skip, this is about wins and losses. And they're winning right now. And he's not hurting the team. Yeah, he fumbled the ball. And I think that's the biggest thing. Is like, man, yeah, I got 40 yards, we won, but I turned the ball over. So I really put us behind the 8 ball early. So I'm glad Zeke said what he said. He's a team player. Because what they're trying to do is that I can see what they're trying to do. Zeke's a bad teammate. Because, see, when Zeke had it going, and Dak was the game manager, Dak was always so happy for Zeke. Now the roles have seemingly reversed. And all of a sudden, he's not getting the shine that Dak is. Now he a bad teammate. Nah, Zeke said, I ain't gonna let y'all do that. I'm happy for my bruh. We friends for real, on and off the field. So I'm glad the way Zeke handled it the way he did. Because he ain't gonna let y'all try to tear them apart, nor should he.
I didn't see the same thing you just saw because it's hard for me to even watch that guy that we just saw in that soundbite we just played. I don't know who that guy is anymore. That scares me because I can't tell you how much I miss the old Zeke. the Zeke that I knew and loved and fought with you for day after day after day on the show, that he's the best running back in football. I miss that man who ran angry, who attacked defenses with this supreme athletic arrogance of, I saw timid Zeke. I saw nice, sweet, aw shucks, aw shucks Zeke. I never thought those words would go together. Aw shucks Zeke. He's like, you guys are making me feel awkward.
Yeah.
What was that?
Because
what was that?
It was Skip Bayless. You see what you did? Now you see what you did. Now when Zeke had this thing going and they were winning games and Dak was throwing for 190, you didn't say I want to see Dak come out there and say I'm gonna throw for 303 touchdowns the next week. So why the hell you want to see Zeke upset the apple cart so you can have something to talk about?
I'm just, you know how I react on this show. I say what I see.
I know.
And I'm seeing way different Zeke. I'm seeing a new guy who even has new multiple nose ring piercing.
He had that at the beginning of the year.
Okay, but it's a new deal. To the point, is this like peace and love, Zeke? I don't know. Is this? I got my $50 million guaranteed. All is right in my world. Everything is peace and love. All is good. I don't care. You win some, you lose some. You have good days, you have bad days. I'm just going along for the ride because we did win this game. That's how it's coming across to me. The other guy had raw edge to him. And again, it would filter into off the field and we'd get all kinds of bar fights.
But why,
and, you know, all the other.
Why didn't you ask that of Dak? When Dak was throwing for 190, 200 yards, why didn't you ask him to come out there and say, this week I'm throwing for 404 touchdowns? Why didn't you ask that of him?
I told you from the start, Dak Prescott was really good, but you never could see it. I saw it from the start. There was nothing to be angry about because he was the driving force of the team. I told you from day one on the show, it's about the quarterback. But he was complimented beautifully by this running back who ran like with contagious rage.
Skip, how can you be the driving force and you're throwing for $190? You're throwing for
he didn't throw for. He had a bunch of 300-yard games.
So he
led the league in QBR his first year until the last game when they mailed it in. He went 4 of 8. What are you talking about? You haven't seen Dak Prescott from the start. There was nothing to hold him accountable for. He led the league in game-winning drives his first 3 years. Why would I say, Dak, you need to get angry. You haven't been playing up to your standards. This guy led the league in rushing 2 of 3 years, and it would have been 3 of 3 without the 6-game suspension.
But
I don't know him.
But I'm asking, when he was leading the league in rushing, why didn't you ask more from Dak?
I didn't need more. They won.
They're winning.
They won the division 2 of 3 years. What are you talking about?
Because you just said it.
I told you all along.
I didn't ask for more from Dak because they were winning.
No, because he was playing at a supremely high level.
Throwing for $180.
He set the record for quarterbacks in their first 3 years for completion percentage. How could you ask more? He made the Pro Bowl 2 out of 3 years. I don't know what more you could ask for.
You make it seem like
he was the star of the team. He made all the big plays.
10 games in, you make it seem like Zeke has 300 yards rushing. Okay, he's not at the top.
I'm going eye test. You should use eye test. You're in the Hall of Fame, and you should tell me if you're seeing the same guy, because I'm seeing Zeke, who runs like he's plotting in Cabo Sand. He runs timid.
Okay.
He was tiptoeing against Minnesota and tiptoeing at Detroit to the line of scrimmage.
Most dependent position. The wide receiver is dependent on the quarterback giving him the football. The running back is dependent on the offensive line opening holes. You tell me. Now, you said the Monday after they lost to the Vikings, every last one of the Cowboys offensive linemen got their you used their Royals butt kicked. But how was Zeke supposed to get 100 yards when they got their butts kicked?
Because every once in a while, a running back comes along who makes his own holes. And we've seen them. I see Dalvin Cook this year. He's making a lot of his own holes.
How did Dalvin do against the
cuts?
How did Dalvin do against the Broncos? 20 yards rushing.
Okay. You know who I'm seeing open holes for himself is Lamar Jackson. I think Lamar Jackson right now is the best running back in football, and he's also playing as good a quarterback as anybody.
Skip, it's hard to defend the quarterback considering that he might throw the ball. Some of those runs that he have are not designed.
I saw a stat last night. Lamar is running away with the league lead in yards gained with defenders within 1 yard of him. So you can't get him down. You can take your shot, but if you're within 1 yard of him, he's probably still going to go for more.
Ask the Texans last week about that run he had. He didn't score.
All right. I used to see that from this guy, and I don't see the body language, the demeanor. And I'm going to drive this home with the greatest irony of all. When do I need Zeke the most? Have you been noticing what's been happening to the New England defense of late?
Yeah.
They are getting gashed by the run. What is happening? They've now dropped to 10th in yards per rush against them, okay, or yards per game. And yet Pro Football Focus now ranks them 29th against the rush in overall effectiveness. And obviously over the last 3 games, if you just do the last 3, they're second from last in rush yards allowed. So something is going wrong because it started, and you brought it up that next day, it started with Nick Chubb. He goes 20 runs for 131 yards. Now, Cleveland lost the game 27-13, but here came Lamar and company. At Baltimore Sunday night, I believe it was, 210 yards rushing. Mark Ingram went 15 times for 115, and Lamar added a nice little 16 carries for 61 more yards. 210 yards rushing. You know what I saw that night, my eye test? I saw New England's front get bullied. I saw it get overpowered. I saw Baltimore just line up and say, you know what? We're bigger, stronger, tougher than you are because you're a little undersized in your front 7. They're mobile. They play with finesse, and they're obviously expertly coached. But they can be just overwhelmed by brute force. Right? The Cowboys got potential brute force in their front. They don't play like that.
We're about to find out.
Okay. Well, what I'm saying is, isn't this game made for Zeke to come out and say, okay, watch this.
Yes.
I will run over these people because they can't stop me. They're not big enough and strong enough to keep stopping me. I'll hammer you into oblivion.
Well, Skip, the thing is that Zeke, and you're right, the last 3 weeks, the Patriots' run defense hasn't been what we were accustomed to seeing. And a lot of times because a lot of times, Skip, they had such a big lead, a team run a draw on them or something like that, you put up those empty calorie yards. But in this, and we even chalked that up with Chubb. Because they were like, look how far they were behind. So it really didn't mean anything. It really didn't come to the forefront until we saw a nip-tuck game where they were behind and the Ravens were still running the football at will, getting 4, 10, and Lamar was just running on that 4th down run, got that touchdown. But Skip, Zeke also has to be careful because you see what's happening. Now they're saying Dak is now up to 3rd in the MVP voting. He has to be careful because anything that he says might be off. So now all of a sudden, Dak is starting to get shine. I'm up. Hey, I'm gonna go out and get me 100 yards. No, bro.
I see that.
When the opportunity presents itself, Skip, I assure you, Zeke Elliott is more than capable of carrying the load. The opportunity presents itself, but he has to walk a very fine line. And Skip, most players, especially if you're not the quarterback, receivers and running backs, they get labeled, and DBs also, especially corners, get labeled as divas. Zeke doesn't want to get labeled that. I sincerely believe that Zeke and Dak are really good friends. Not only are they teammates, they're good friends off the field.
I believe they're best friends.
Yes.
And remember, Dak has been there every step of the way through all of Zeke's off-field controversies.
They came in together. It was voted they had the best class of this decade. Because they had Zeke, Dak, Jalen Smith, and Malik Collins. That's a hell of a first 4 picks.
Anthony Brown, throw him in, but go ahead.
So they're very, very close. And he doesn't want to do anything that would come off that all of a sudden he's upset that Dak's getting shine and he's not getting the shine that he once did.
I don't believe there's ever any conflict between these two in that regard.
I know they're not. But I'm saying the perception, what it would be. I want my boy to do good. I want him to get that bag. I got me a bag, I got me a little bag, but Dak about to get the big old duffel bag. So, he going to have to be really, really good. So,
what did Zeke do when he caught the screen pass and scored at Detroit? What did he
He did
do?
the Dak dance.
He honored his quarterback.
Love it.
He did the Dak.
Yes.
You were fine with it
Okay.
if it was a teammate? I was just curious.
I'm fine.
You're
I mean,
fine if he
I liked
honors
it
it?
because,
Okay.
but it's the new Zeke.
Yeah.
And he finished off his remarks by yesterday saying, "I just want to be a good teammate."
Okay.
Yes.
Like, I'm happy to be a cog in
Right,
the attack.
right.
And he's happy to honor the quarterback because he's just acknowledging
Fair.
publicly